question for you. If you could have one special day in your life to live over again, which day would it be? Would it be the day you got married? The day your child was born? Maybe the day you walked across the stage at graduation? Or maybe your 13th or 18th or 21st birthday? Maybe a once-in-a-lifetime camp experience or a vacation to a cherished place. Or might it instead be the last day before your father or grandmother or a special friend died and left you without the one who shared the inside jokes, the poignant memories, the connection that you'll never have with that one person again? Those days are precious, and they're in the past. Unlike with Bill Murray's character in the movie Groundhog Day, we don't get the chance to live a day over again once it's already passed. Hoping to once again enjoy those experiences, or maybe to improve things, to get them just right, to recognize that precious experiences they are, as we didn't necessarily the first time. Well, to live is to experience change, and it's not always welcome. Sometimes we foresee it, sometimes we're pleasantly surprised by it, and sometimes we're blindsided by it. Today is the day in the annual cycle of the church year that we hear about the mountaintop experience of Jesus and Peter and James and John. We call it the Transfiguration. They become dazzled by the sudden brightness of Jesus, his face and his clothes. They seem to see Moses and Elijah talking with him. Peter stammers out an offer to build 3 booths, or temporary structures for Jesus and for Moses and Elijah, who some say represent the law and the prophets. But Peter is interrupted by a voice saying, "This is my son, the beloved. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him." And they all fall to the ground in fear. Coming down the mountain, they probably can't describe what has just happened, what Jesus refers to as a vision. But these particular things are essential parts of that experience. Jesus touches them and tells them not to be afraid, and then they see that he is alone. They come back down the mountain together. And Jesus asks them not to share their experience until after his death and resurrection. Now, I don't know about you, but today I am struck by Peter's words and actions. He is certainly not at a loss for words. Imagine how patronizing and out of touch it would be to say to Jesus, "Lord, it is good for us to be here." This is a scene of great complexity that shows Jesus for just a moment in all his glory, and Peter has no idea, really. Not that we have much more of an idea of what's really going on, even for theologians after all these years. So why does he say what he says? He adds, "If you wish, I will make 3 dwellings here, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." He wants to be helpful. He wants to prolong the experience, and he wants maybe to have some measure of control over what's happening. Caroline Lewis says about this story, "At its core, the Transfiguration insists that change is difficult but needed. Change rocks your world, but likely your world needed some sort of earthquake kind of event." We probably don't like the image of an earthquake, but she goes on, "Change demands reorientation, and sometimes the change happens before the new perspective is adequately in place. I suspect Peter is caught in that suspension between wanting things to stay the same and knowing that change is afoot. So we build tents, a rather apt metaphor for this in-between experience. Not permanent structures, but structures just the same, to give us more time, to hold on to something we likely know cannot be held, to capture, albeit briefly, a moment that might very well carry us through the change that is about to happen. The Transfiguration is that threshold moment between what was and what is to come. You get a glimpse of what could be, when actually it was there all along. Maybe a bit like Dorothy returning home from Oz. She continues, you know what I mean, right? It's not that we haven't seen the change coming. It's not that we haven't recognized what the change will look like. We just wonder if we're ready, if we can handle it, if we are prepared. We erect temporary structures as an act of entrenchment, but also to capture a memory to cope with what is to come. Yes, Peter wants Jesus to stay, but Peter also needs the memory to stay. The glory, the confirmation, the assurance, the promise, the declaration, because he will need it later on, and big time. She concludes, letting go is almost impossible without the act of holding on. In your own life, where do you need to hold on so that you might let go? Just something to think about. Harry borrowed a book from the Synod Resource Center called Our Gifts, Identifying and Developing Leaders by David King Mayer. It's an interesting little book. And in the very beginning, it talks about how complex congregations are, and the reader is asked to look at the congregation using a particular model. I hope you'll find it worth thinking about. He says, a congregation resembles three different institutions at the same time: a community of spiritual formation, a voluntary association, and a nonprofit organization. He says, this isn't a matter of size. The largest and the smallest are alike in this. It isn't a matter of context. The model applies to both urban and rural settings. Each type of institution has different values and goals, which may even contradict each other. Each of these values and goals requires different things from leaders. And by leaders, he means all people in leadership positions, lay people, priests, and deacons. In a small congregation, you might say that's all of us. So, here are the values of each institution as we consider our values as a community, what to hold on to in situations we confront within each area so that we might let go. Maybe you'll be inspired by these images. All of the three are essential. A congregation like St.Francis is like a nonprofit because we have formal operational procedures and documents. We have bylaws. We have procedures and bylaws at the level of the diocese and the constitution and canons of the Episcopal Church. Mayer says the fundamental goal of the church as nonprofit is self-perpetuation, making sure the institution will continue. And the core values are efficiency, or achieving the greatest results with the least possible expenditure of resources, and continuity with orderly systems that must be applied by anyone who carries out the organization's work. Other organizational goals revolve around having a truly public presence, including marketing effectively. So that is the nonprofit model. And here's the voluntary association model. Mayer says, like any club or voluntary association, a congregation is a gathering of people who are similar to each other in specific ways, share a common purpose, and largely govern and finance their organization's existence and activities. The most important value in a voluntary association is effectiveness and helping people relate to one another. The goals are largely relational. There must be many opportunities for people to form relationships. People want and expect to be contacted regularly by both leaders and other members, and to feel that they are fully accepted as part of the group. It's also important that there is a shared consensus, a shared vision on what the association is and does, hence a mission statement. And finally, last but certainly not least, in Mayer's words, a congregation is also a community of spiritual formation. People come to such a community to join with others in growing closer to God. They seek to understand God's word and God's will for their life. They seek an experience of God's presence, a spiritual or emotional awareness of transcendence and love. They seek time for contemplation and prayer, and also time to work with others on tasks that extend God's love to others. Much of congregational life centers on worship. We teach children and adults the practices of faith. We engage in visible and public activities, such as offering assistance to people who are homeless or hungry or survivors of abuse, as a way of serving both serving God and proclaiming God's mercy and justice. The most important value in a community of spiritual formation is authenticity. There's no room for pretense, no room for manipulation, and no room for power games. The fundamental question for self-evaluation is this: how has our ministry brought people closer to God? So here is something to think about. This story of the Transfiguration has elements of all three models that I see. Peter looks around. He notices that the four of them are joined by Moses and Elijah. He wants to prolong the relational aspect. Lord, it is good for us to be here, he says. Just like the voluntary association model. Something like, wherever 2 or more or 6 are gathered, we must have a common purpose. Then, he focuses on what will make it last. If you wish, I will make 3 dwellings here, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. He's probably already casting around for materials for the building of the dwellings. And then, a voice comes from outside his own head that demands his response. This is my son, the beloved. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him. And Peter and his friends know that they are standing and then lying on their faces on holy ground. As we gather in this place on Sunday and at other times, we are these 3 aspects of community. We notice others and we create relationships. We make plans for the long term, being good stewards. And most of all, we draw near to God. We fall on our faces in worship, honest before the one who knows us so well and loves us. And we try always to be authentic and loving with each other in response. Letting go is almost impossible without the act of holding on. We're confronted by change that is wanted and change that forces us to adapt. But we anticipate the many ways to hold on that we might let go. As we enter the season of Lent, where we are reminded that even Jesus was confronted by change eventually leading to crucifixion, let's try holding things a little more lightly. Let's try to make time for voluntary community, caring for our gifts and resources, and worship of God that leads us to share with and to stand up for others.